Yes.
Super
What are you
grateful.
grateful
Always.
for? Hey, pardon?
I said super grateful, always grateful.
Yes, 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 yes. Tell me what you're grateful for.
Sorry?
Tell me what you're grateful for.
Honestly, I'm grateful that I can walk into any situation and make it better.
Yeah, yep, yep.
There's a lot of challenges that are happening around me, but I get whenever I show up, I have a solution. And
Yep,
I'm not worried about it. I just make it better and I create transparency and integrity and make things happen.
that's good. And that's a sign of a leader, right? As well. You see it as it is or how it's better than it is and you can act from there, can't you?
See it as it is, not worse than it is. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, and see and make it better than what it is. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. And
Probably
if
half
you're willing
asleep,
to
Eric.
and if you're willing to go and make it, and if you're willing to find the gift of the empowering meaning in it, then you get to create a life around you that you choose to, that we choose to.
Yeah, yeah, yes, that's right. That's right. That's right. Um, yeah, that's right. What do you say? The meaning, if you create the meaning around it.
Well, if you create an empowering meaning, the master of meaning is the person that can create an empowering meaning in any situation. Then you become a
Yes,
master of meaning.
yes, yeah,
And
yeah.
the only,
Hey.
sorry, the replay is just going. Shemek's coming as well. Again. He was here this morning and he's coming back again.
Oh, lovely. I apologize for my absence last week. My shoulder's been giving me a lot of trouble, and I had it needled late like end of last Friday, and it's
Hmm.
Saturday morning, and I wouldn't have been able to sit up in front of the camera. So, but it's
No
so much
worries.
better. I have this amazing physiotherapist, and he specializes in nerves. And
Hmm.
it's actually my nerves that have been giving me a lot of trouble. So he's been needling it, and it's incredible. Yes.
Wow.
So I'm
I
very,
love
very, very happy. I'm trying to avoid surgery. Um, and I've already had 2 cortisone injections in the past 2 years. So I just didn't want to go down that road again. It's not a good drug, of course. And, but yeah, and he's been giving me really good nerve stretch exercises to stretch my radial nerve and my ulnar nerve. And oh, my range of motion so much better. So I'm very happy. And I'll go again on Monday, and he'll needle me again Monday, and then Marita and I fly out. I'll be on the plane landing in Brisbane as we speak now,
Nice.
and
Are you
then we go.
excited for Day of Destiny?
I'm so excited, Eric. I can't wait. That's the one course I really always wanted to do.
Hmm.
And the UPWs, of course, have been absolutely amazing. I've
Mhm.
done 3 of them now, and 3 of many to come. Um, and I actually got asked to be crew at New York. The
Nice.
email came through only 3 weeks ago, and it was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was this last weekend. Yeah.
Yes, I just had all these contractors booked for here at the farm to finish developing it, and all those targets are being met. And and I have dogs and animals, just cattle. I just couldn't drop it.
It's okay. Don't be
And
hard on yourself.
I was so honored. So I'm hoping to crew at Germany. I'm definitely going to apply to crew at Germany next year.
You'll be there. It'll be
So
awesome.
yes, I know, right?
You'll be there. I'll be in the front row going, "Rah!"
Yeah. Oh, so you're a plat, right?
Not anymore, but I'll be a lion. I'll be a lion by Germany.
Okay. How do you get to be a
I mean,
lion?
I mean, I think the way they say it is like once you're a plat, you're always a plat. But the
Yeah.
thing is that I choose to operate from just a different perspective, where the next time that I go, it's gonna be a lion. I'm gonna go as one of the lions because I want to go and spend a lot of time with Tony personally at his house and really solve some of the biggest problems in the planet. So I'm, if everything goes the play that I'm planning, then maybe I'll be by the time finance comes around, maybe I'll join you at fine. You're platinum now, right?
No, no,
No.
I'm on the business mastery course.
Okay, okay, yeah,
So that included Life Wealth Mastery in Fiji,
yeah,
the virtual UPW, Date with Destiny, and Business Mastery, which I'm doing next year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I was in 2019, I became a plat, and that was a long journey. That was a long journey of depth and discovery. But uh, by the way, hello, Pshemek. It's good to see you.
Hey Eric, how's it going?
Uh,
It's great to join in again on my travels.
yeah, brother, it's nice to have you. So, um, the experience for me has been, obviously, as you know, very deep. But uh, yeah, I would say seeking. I don't know if seeking, attracting a
Yes.
different level of experience now. So
Yes.
uh I think the being like really at Tony's figuring out solutions, focusing on real life problems
Yes.
is the focus for me. So yeah.
Yes. 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 That's amazing. And you have that goal, and that's your outcome, and you keep striving towards your outcome, don't you?
Well, I mean, you've watched me grow in the last how many months? So many others have watched me grow in a few years, and then my parents have watched me thrive in the last decades. So
Yep.
it's a constant and never-ending journey. So I just keep doing my best. That's all I can do.
Yes. 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 And that's all we can do, and make the most of the growth. I've just had a contractor here for the past couple of days to help me with the cattle and that, and it's a typical Queensland the day you die is the day you stop learning quote.
Yeah, sure. And
um,
even then, I don't think you stop learning because your energy just transfers.
well, your soul, it's the soul that goes on to the next journey, isn't it? That
That's
that
right.
goes on to the next learning path. But it's the maximization of that growth. And you're clearly maximizing it. I'm trying to maximize it, and we're all trying to maximize that growth, aren't we? And
We're
using
not trying, we're doing it. We're not trying, we're
we
doing it.
are, yes, that's right, we are doing it, and using that opportunity to make the most of it. Hmm. Yes, and using that time, we all have the same time. Time's the biggest element, which was reinforced in Fiji. And I actually think of that nearly every day. Every day we have the same amount of time. It's what we do with our time. There's some days
Well,
I know I can improve on my time management and trying to maximize mine. I
you're
don't
doing it.
meet some
Don't try.
goals.
So the reason that you're feeling that you're not making some of these things happen is because your language keeps saying try versus do.
Yes,
I'm doing. So in that language, you can't try to do anything. You just got to do it. And if
do
you
it.
do it, then it will change the level of language consciously and unconsciously so that you start integrating it a lot more with devotion. Because if you keep saying trying, you're tricking your brain into saying that you're not actually making it happen.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And also that word also makes a bit of an effort. It's an effort word, isn't it? So without that, doing it is an action word, and that's the verb. So that's what, yeah. Okay, I'm doing it, Eric.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. It's what it's about. It's what life is about doing what we really want to do and being who we want to be.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's right. And being who we want to be is being the best person we can. I'm reading the book. My coach told me to read the book Radical Forgiveness.
Hmm. Who's the author?
Hold that thought.
How's your drive, bro?
Pretty smooth. I've been catching up with friends, family, learning about a new experimental stem cell procedure that I this doctor does in Vegas, and he does it as a fraction, like 10% of the cost, what it really is.
Yes.
And one of my close friends is his mom is using that instead of a knee replacement therapy. So I'm excited about the results. She got injections just about a week ago. So she has before x-rays, and I'm really excited to see how the x-rays gonna turn out in a couple months if there's actually like having proof that it works. So
Amazing.
that's one thing. It's yeah, I love driving. I love driving. It's been on the road for the past 10 and a half hours. And it's been amazing. It's the time to catch up, to think, to make decisions, which again, so grateful for the last conversation. It gave me even more clarity.
Mm.
I decided after that because I was going to the officer route, right? And my heart is not in the military. My heart is not set on the mission that it is. It would be, the certainty. That's what would have been driving me there. And that I realized I was like, it's a year and a half of doing something that my heart is not behind. So I'm going to be sticking with what I have, which is pretty certain and pretty easy, and it doesn't require me to abandon my goals and my lose my momentum. So grateful. Thank you so much. Just the conversation, just listening into you guys and talk, and especially getting in that mindset, like the do your move. Yes, let's go. Pumping up the energy, put me in that clarity mind state. So thank you, thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome, brother. One thing I might, if you don't mind, if I ask a question, you
Yeah.
said that you're where you're at right now will keep you certain and comfortable. Is that a growth? Is that a growth place? Because you just said that you don't want to be in certainty, and then you're saying that where you're staying is in certainty and comfort. So I just want to challenge and ask the question to see
Yes.
if that's something that is in service to your higher self, or I'm just curious
Okay.
here.
No, no. Let me clarify.
Thank you.
So I'm getting away from that because I'm enlisted, which is very comfortable, right? I love the service to the country, right? I love what I'm doing, and uh, it it requires it gives me joy when I go there. However, if I were to take the other path in the military, it would give me more certainty in the future. However, it will require me to again sacrifice the things that I'm passionate about at the
Mm.
moment. So that's what I realized is like, yeah, it's a year and a half, but it's a year and a half of doing something that my heart is not uh, behind. It's like just going for the certainty of that retirement, let's say, better pay in 10 years, right? Which I'm okay with not having in that sense. There's so many other ways that I'm capable of making money than being on a leash. I
Yes.
mean, I went there to the event to unleash, right? And don't want to put myself back on it.
100%. Yeah, so that's beautiful. So you're allowing yourself to be liberated.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why I'm here to keep that momentum going. I will not allow that momentum to stop. It's just too good to allow it to not keep on rolling.
Beautiful. Well, I'm grateful that you're here now so that we can continue to help build that momentum.
Thank you. Oh, can I ask you? It's like so. What is one of the things that you want to change? Like, what is your? Obviously, you have very ambitious goals to change the world, and there's so many problems to, or not problem, challenges to work on. What is the one thing that you really want to work with Tony on?
So it's not about really changing the world, it's about harmonizing it, because
Mm,
uh I've discovered that you can't really change the world unless you discover and change yourself, right? So uh by me being in a place of peace, I find and choose harmony. uh but before I go there, I'm curious, you mentioned the author, Sarah. What was
Yes.
the author's name?
Colin Tipping is his name.
Colin
Radical
Tipping.
Forgiveness.
Radical Forgiveness. So, speaking, it's interesting,
It's
fascinating that you bring up forgiveness, because I think forgiveness is forgiving. It's to give to other people, right? And you do that for yourself ultimately when you choose to walk, when I choose to walk a path. I find that this type of forgiveness is having compassion for our predecessors, choosing to have compassion and grace for the lessons and the books and the roads, as they left behind for us, just like Tony has indicated so many ways. But for me, it's really about creating harmony in the energy sector, with a monetary paradigm that creates abundance and supports community and sustainable development. So how that looks like is, we can have a backing of the energy sector to a monetary paradigm like Bitcoin that can be fostered and duplicated and amplified through the Bitcoin ecosystem, that then actually creates a sustainable monetary fiduciary responsibility that then can curate and fund a lot of education, a lot of communities, a lot of developments. So from my perspective, this brings together a conscious economic ecosystem that focuses on benevolence and abundance. And I believe that Tony is aware of this. I believe that he has the awareness of it, of course. And but I also feel that he is only, I mean, he's not only one man, but he has such breadth and depth that I believe that, being around him and his awareness to help me discover ways that I could figure out more meaningful or get into the right conversations alongside him, it will create a level of empowerment in the community delivery, whether it's in different resources like energy, natural gas, renewables. And so if I have somebody that like Tony next to me that is able to guide me in those conversations at such a high level with such integrity, then we can really manifest a real energy transition in terms of where our society starts to think in terms of consciousness. So instead of thinking of scarcity and lack, we start focusing on abundance and benevolence, because we have all the tools, we have all the technology, we have all the systems, and we have all the ability to make it happen, where we can actually start to really take care of a lot of these communities and develop a lot more sustainable living around the world. But we have to do it by working on the leaders. And that means working on the leaders that are, inside of these organizations, like ExxonMobil or Shell or Imperial Oil or Chevron or others, because there's so much energy and money tied up in this type of sector, that by amplifying it alongside a technology like Bitcoin and utilizing Bitcoin mining, we can then slowly start to transition into the full renewable sector by minimizing the inefficiencies of the fossil fuel sector, which is, for example, like coal, the coal plants in China, they don't need to be used anymore if we just moved liquid natural gas from Canada, you know, and like we can
Mm.
really start to support the ecosystem on a conscious level on a global standard. But what we need to do is start to see each other not as uh, competitors, but as collaborators, as supporters of one another. And the more of us start to do that, the more of us start to see that peace and harmony within ourselves, then it's easier to find a solution, because then we're not just surviving, we're thriving. We're not focused on the initial human needs of food, housing, things like this, because we're focused on, hey, how can we actually give more to these countries, give more to these communities, give more, and we can do that with the resources that we have in some of these more abundant reserves, like even where I live in Alberta, and we can really create that autonomy and sovereignty for our communities, but we have to choose to do that on an intentional level, and that comes from initiating these conversations. So my perspective is that the more that I continue to move and navigate, basically here behind the scenes in the trenches, let's call it, and the more that I continue to share and do the hard things and have the difficult conversations and challenge the status quo and disrupt it and see how I could continue to merge ecosystems and help organizational development, that eventually at some point, somewhere down the road, someone somewhere somehow is going to either say, hey, Eric, I really want you to meet Tony, or hey, Eric, I really want you to be again around Tony, or Tony's going to come to me because, he's watched me grow for the last 7 years in the front row. I don't, I've spoken to a lot of his different partners and a lot of the Lions and a lot of the community. Uh, and I've shared how I want to do this multiple times over. Uh, and I've sent a lot of things to, but it just comes to being like that resilience and, the changing my approach, making it better. How can I do better? What can I do and, I've been navigating this type of way because it's very forward thinking and it's a different way of looking at the world than most. However, I believe that this is the way that he also sees things. So uh, it's just enough to get like really in his ear. Once it gets in his ear, him and I have a great
Hmm.
feeling that it will become a team effort. So I truly have that faith. So
What a beautiful, you feel like this is your mission. It sounds like
yeah,
it.
no, it is my mission. So um, it's not even like a feeling; it's a knowing. And the
Mm.
reason why is because I've been through a lot of experiences in the world, but fundamentally, what I've discovered is that uh, when you know thyself, you walk with absolute zero fear. And so there's
Mm.
nothing in this world that scares me. You know, in fact, I believe that leaving a relationship, an environment, an experience, and fundamentally this planet behind better than when we found it is ultimate integrity. And so my decision has been, since a young age, is I choose to leave everything better than when I found it. I choose to find it, make it better, and leave it, so that my next generation, so that when I do have kids and when I do have a family and I already have a family. I have this community and I have an amazing family and I have an amazing family and so many people around the world that are rooting for me. Uh, and I want my boy, I want my child, my little girl to look at me and say, "Wow, Dad, you really fucking went after it all."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And not by me needing to say anything to her or to him, by me just being myself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They see your actions and they grow from that. Yes. So when are you meeting Tony, Eric?
So Ronald and I are planning on doing it at finance
Yep.
Ah,
in
hi
Whistler.
Ronald. How are
Hey,
you?
Sarah.
Hey, how you been? What
So
time
this
is
is
Great.
it for you?
It's 10:30 in the evening.
All right, all right, all right. That's way past my bedtime, Ronald.
Yep.
Although last night I
So,
was up past that at a friend's birthday
well,
party.
I love that Eric put this meeting 2 hours in front. So now I think yes, I can skip. I can get on it.
Join in.
See you again.
Yes.
See you again.
I know, right? How are you? Yeah,
Well, I'm doing good.
that's good. That's good. Yeah. How's your program with the children's finance program?
Well, the book is published.
Oh wow. Oh wow. You're bounding ahead. That's amazing.
yeah, he's
Let's
crushing it.
see.
Yes,
He's
crushing
amazing.
it. Wow.
Let me see. I have a copy here somewhere. It's this is it. Oh, let me. Ooh.
No, I can't see it.
Oh
There you
yes.
go.
It's The Journey to Wealth. And this is the book that's free for the kids.
Oh yes.
And we also have a hard copy, but I give it away.
Yeah.
And I got this one, Eric, today with the mail.
Yes.
Oh yes. I see you're
So,
doing the book club. I must join.
yep.
Yeah, if you can, that'd be amazing.
Okay.
You
Okay.
may. You don't. There's no must.
Yeah.
There's only want.
That's right. Yes. I want. I do. I want. I want
I'm
to
just
learn.
worried about the timing for you because it's 8 a.m. our time here. So I imagine that in AEST, it's going to be 8 a.m. on Sunday mornings, my time. So that imagine that's probably going to be like 4 a.m. your
My time?
No, Sarah's time.
The book club.
Sarah.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll check
It's
her
the
now.
night book club. The night book club.
What time did you say it is, Eric? What time?
Yeah, that would be 1 a.m. your time. I don't think you're going to be
Okay. Although
unless
sometimes I
you
do.
feel inspired at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Don't worry. Sometimes I do wake up at those times and have a little notebook beside my bed. So yes.
Smart.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, good. Good. That's fascinating, Eric. We are all here to make our journey better, aren't we? You know, to make the world better. And the forgiveness thing, Colin Tipping, and I just finished reading this other book. It's called After the Heavy Rain. And it talks about forgiveness at a soul level. When we go to forgiveness, if we're in our human form, forgiveness is not, that's where we think about it being as, just about us. But when we forgive at a soul form, we are really unable to forgive completely if we don't go to that deeper level of forgiveness, because that's what we are here for the lesson, whatever that lesson may be. And if we're in our human form, and we can forgive, or think about forgiveness for ourselves and to release ourselves and to heal ourselves. But if we go to that level of I'm just in the first two chapters of Colin Tipping's book, but this other book, After the Heavy Rain, going to a soul level or a God level, is the level of meeting that demand, or meeting that, not the word demand's not the right word, meeting that lesson of forgiveness is unable to be done in the human form. If we go to that, that deeper soul level, we then are able to do it to just release ourselves, and learn the lesson and meet that lesson in this lifetime. It's quite fascinating. He's actually a Cambodian, and his whole family was slaughtered by the Khmer Rouge. and he was 12 years old, and he was nearly slaughtered himself, and they were all slaughtered, you know, in a pit, basically, on top of him. And he was 12 years old, and he survived and lived in the jungle for a few days and had every you know, anger and deep remorse, and wanted to go back and, you know, have revenge on the people who killed all his brothers and sisters and his mother and his father and a lot of the other villagers in those horrendous days. And he goes to the deeper level of forgiveness, to his soul level and at a God level, to forgive, and he goes back and meets the killers and of his family, and he remembers how they tortured his brother and that, and he forgives them. He builds infrastructure in their village and a little school and a church, and in the human form he would never have been able to do that. And yeah, it's a huge release and a huge releasing the burden that we hold of you know, payback or holding grudges or whatever it is. It's been a good book.
I really love that you shared. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
I really love that you shared this, because these moments of forgiveness, he's doing it in the human form through you.
Yes, so his example is basically what you're doing as well, because what he's doing, he has then exactly like he has then he's a teacher by going to that level and that level of forgiveness and playing out those deeds and those acts. He doesn't have to teach it because it's learnt by example. He said, you know, there was always people in the other villages, or you say, you know, said he's risking his own life. Those killers might then kill him. Why would he go back? All that sort of thing. And that's general society, isn't it? We face criticism every day from whatever peer it is, whether it's workmates or society or whatever. But if we just keep, Tony would always say, go to your outcome and focus on your outcome and just focus on that, and then work out, you know, work through your RPM or whatever you're doing to get to that outcome. And his outcome was just going back to those killers and trying to make that a better life for them. And he could see that there's problems in them. It's probably, and so by his acts and deeds, he's giving a great example, and then that has a flow-on effect to then the children of his killers were in those schools and in those churches. But he's making a better world.
He's breaking the pattern.
Yeah. Which is exactly what, you know, you're doing, Eric, with this community too, because it always takes a leader to set that up. It's not always about a radical forgiveness, but it's just about going to the soul level and keeping that help, isn't it? Like, and keeping that support out there and work out there and community.
I think for me, the reason that I wanted to create something like this, and Sagita's was so amazing to do it alongside me, is because we needed it to just connect. We needed it for each other. We needed it to just stay in touch with one another and to just feel that infinite mirror. And that infinite mirror, when you have somebody, when I have somebody that is willing to play the integrity game at such a deep level and chooses to walk a path that isn't always the easiest, can solve problems with real ease. And so I can solve problems with real ease. I just had a very major meeting about a big controversial invoice, and I was able to handle it with just ease and grace. And the gentleman on the other side, if I was hiding, he could have, done his best to utilize an agreement, but the agreement doesn't matter if it's only a agreement to create in terms of disagreement. So
Yep.
really having the relationship, which is really more valuable, is for me and him a lot more future focused. And so by being able to harmonize that on the spot, we're able to walk a higher path of possibility because we know we're here to create something good. And so, plus, this is a man that's been in the relationship business for the last 2.5 decades across the planet. So, a very powerful man. And also is able to listen and observe the level of integrity that I'm coming from and open to hearing me versus creating his own box. And again, he's 20 years and probably doing it, so it's just nice to see that reflection of being able to handle serious problems and find a solution always.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how big they are or how powerful they are, there's always a solution available. And so
Yes.
what it creates for me is even more uh certainty for myself to know that
Yep.
I can, like I said when I jumped on the call, I can walk into any problem now, any problem across the planet,
Yep.
and I can find a solution.
Yep. Yep. Amazing. Amazing.
And
Congratulations, Eric. That's
but by the way, this is the training ground. So the Lighthouse has become a training ground for me,
yep.
for everybody, and I want to hold that place for everyone, so everyone becomes like, they come to the Lighthouse and they could like just be themselves and express themselves, so that when they go out, outside of these events, because Tony is another training ground, like the events there are another training ground, right? That
Yep.
training ground is to be authentically ourselves, really learning to be ourselves. Now, when we go out to what the old paradigm of the world looks like, that training ground is not so forgiving. It kicks us in the fucking face. It teaches us everything right off the hop. So what my goal and my mission is to create that training ground on a global standard where the playground is actually the planet.
Yes.
And so if we recognize that the Lighthouse or Tony's events are really the same thing, over there it's just Tony Robbins holding the space. Here it's Eric Valens, and a bunch of great other brothers. But the point is that we're able to do this on a global standard, the same type of experience. If we choose to harmonize energy, if we choose to harmonize capital, and if we choose to harmonize our labor of love, which is our passion. And this is what I call the conscious economic ecosystem.
Yes.
So harmony creates peace. So our kids and our grandkids and our great grandkids can walk this earth and look back at us and say, fuck, I'm so proud of my parents or my grandparents or my great grandparents, because they
Yes.
chose to stand tall even though it was difficult.
Yeah.
Well, this is just thinking about what you said. This is I mean, you've been thinking about this for years at this point, probably. But this is a huge undertaking. It's I can only I can only be here and listen and learn. But to me, right now, from my perspective, not knowing the insights, it's fascinating because I can't even comprehend where to start, you know, and it sounds like you have a really clear vision of how to make it happen. It's incredibly fascinating, Eric. Like, and I wholeheartedly align with that. I hear people wanting to unify, harmonize. Um, I don't hear a lot of solutions, and it sounds like you have it. So, shit, brother. Uh, keep on going because, as I said, I can't even to start to comprehend where to start.
Yeah, it's always about influencing ourselves first. So having the devotion within oneself to identify what's most important to ourselves. Because once enough leaders discover that they influence themselves, that it is not the external circumstance that influences us, but it is our internal nature, then it doesn't matter about the conditions. It's coming from our heart, right? The conditions around us won't influence us. It's the state that we're in, and this is, Tony teaches this. So
Yes.
it's
State's number one,
interesting.
isn't it?
State is everything, right? So
Yes.
once we're in a beautiful state and we have the why is big enough, the how becomes easy because all you have to do is focus on the who.
Yeah.
So remember, like these are the things. It's like we get so much into that place of thinking with our mind that we forget that the who is already here. It's profound. It's such an easy, there's so much ease and grace associated with that. And the mind will say, yeah, it's a difficult undertaking. The truth is, we've had all the tools, all the tech, all of the experiences to really harmonize our ecosystem on a global standard. We're watching Bitcoin go up to $100,000 US now. There's a reason for
Yeah.
it. All of these things are starting to shift. Now, the thing is now, can we create an awareness of really what Napoleon Hill discusses as the divine economy? Because the reverence of our energy is actually what the value is. It's not a monetary protocol. That's what we've been led to believe. But energy is really the value. And the money is a form of energy. And if we have a better relationship with money on a societal standard, on a global standard, where we recognize its benevolence, we recognize its abundance, we recognize it as a tool, then we can start to create benevolence in the communities that we're devoted to serve. And so we can give more than we ever expect to receive because there's so much that comes through us all. Like, look at us. We're light beings that, like, the great teacher comes through all of us and spreads wisdom because we all have something to give. Every one of us learns from each other. We're all teachers. And so the mind will say, hey, yeah, like how? The heart, it chooses to say, just share, and the right people will show up. Because, like Nikola Tesla said, and I said this on the last call, energy, frequency, and vibration are the secrets of the universe.
Yes.
And when people are like, oh, Eric, but this is so esoteric, I'm like, bullshit. It's not esoteric because our natural resources, gas, water, sunlight, oil, all these things, they come out of the planet and they create an energy or a gas of efficiency that can be captured and turned into power and electricity. Can take that power of electricity and we can create powered up Bitcoin mines. We can turn those Bitcoin mines into a monetary protocol that also then creates heat from the turbines and the miners that can create greenhouses that creates food security, food sovereignty for different nations or communities. And as a result, you have a full circular economy that is absolutely sovereign from the natural resources of our planet. And of course, we want to transition away from these fossil fuels into sustainable, intermittent energy sources, green energy. We can do that. We have all the tools. We have all the tech. The AI is already here. So the AI and like the how do you say uh what's the optic cable anyways, these cables that they can
Fiber
move
optic.
a lot. Fiber optic, thank you.
Yeah.
This fiber optic is now exchanging energy and throughout the planet. Like we can move like that, like
Yes.
that. So this is like the light beam of our internal planet. So we can now, just like before, we don't have to understand all of this. Like I don't need to figure out how to turn my, like what is required to turn on that light. I just turn it on and it works. Right? So many people are getting stuck on in like how, why does it work? Instead of figuring out like, hey, it works. Let's just fucking put it to work, you know? And so by putting it to work using the fiber optic, we can start transitioning energy so fast with all this power and electricity like a light force. It's no different than manifesting in the current state of emotion. So sometimes, have you guys ever felt, oh my God, like you say something, you feel something, we did that, and all of a sudden another person says, feels, or is there? Like we did that exercise at UPW. I'm sure all of you have done this at the end where you're there with a person and you're sitting in a certain state and the other person can actually feel what you're feeling.
Yep.
So this is all matching and mirroring, and that's exactly, thank you, the vibration, right? So this matching and mirroring creates so much certainty in people around you, and the level of vibration of our empowering experience that we can create is by who we are, by walking around owning it from oh fuck to fuck you, you know?
Yeah. 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 That 2 millimeter shift within the sternum, isn't it? As well.
And then my brother and sister, we attract the who. We no longer need to figure out all the hows because everyone has done it already in some way, shape, or form. And you just put people together. And once we discover that the interconnectedness is already here, you just stand on each other's shoulders and support one another.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes. Very well said, Eric. That's very, very, very true. It's all the light we emit, isn't it? And we can send out that energy from ourselves all through, because of that vibration, as you said. Mm. one side of the planet to the other. Amazing, guys.
What a beautiful call. Thank you so much for hearing me out.
Yes, I certainly look up to you, Eric, and every week. Thank you for building this community, and it will keep growing. And it's such an honor that we can all connect again. Ronald. Otherwise, in the past we've done UPW, and you go home and you come back to society and the way it is, and it's hard on your own. It can only work as a collective, can't it? It can only work as a team and all of us together. And these calls and all of us all together can only keep doing it and just keep growing and keep educating ourselves. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you all for being here.
Yes, nice to meet you, Sky.
Pleasure.
I just want to add too is that we're building this together, like it's so important to make sure that we're welcoming or adding people that if we feel they need this place or space or community for them to welcome them into the WhatsApp group, into the calls, into everything, because there's people out there that I know I was one of them that felt alone, felt alone. I was very much alone, and okay with it. Thought it was me against the world for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, like
Yep.
a lot of needing to prove myself for a very long time, and I believe that there's so much easier and softer ways of achieving all of our goals without needing to fight anymore um or compete.
Yes. Yeah. It all just happens.
Yeah. And it can be
Allow it
so
with
easy.
ease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My board break was like, I am grace.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And sorry, I interrupted. Keep going.
No, that's it. That was it.
And did you feel it when you broke the board? You had that breakthrough? When you go
Yeah,
through the board and you push through it?
it was like it was such an easy and soft way of doing it, and everything is just starting around my life to become a lot more easier in so many ways. It's just everything is happening, and I love that you asked about the goal, like, when am I gonna be talking about this because it's like all of this is I'm manifesting as I speak, and it's happening.
Yeah, it is. My Tony Robbins coach, each year we have a theme, like a theme year, I suppose. And last year was my power year, to try and get my power back. I just said try, didn't I, Eric? I got my power back. And this year, actually, so back in January, 2024 is and has been my grace year. And here I am now, like in the last 6 weeks have we got of this year. And there's been so many things happen with my family and the growth this year that it's coming together to be a grace year. Yeah. So that was my theme for 2024, grace. So in January I'll have another theme. I'm not sure what yet, but it will come in the turn of the new year. And after Date with Destiny, it will all come together.
And remember, winter is our time. So the fact that I said I am grace
Yeah.
and that you said that this theme was grace and now it's winter, it's all happened. It's already done.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. All right. Well, thank you, Eric. I must scoot. So good to see you, Ronald. I can't wait to hear more about your book.
Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your Saturday.
And this time
Thank
next
you.
Saturday, Marita and I are on the plane to Florida.
Yeah.
I know, right? Woohoo! We're in Florida for about 4 days to get over our jet lag, and then Date with Destiny. And then Eric, we're going up to Whistler.
So yeah, let me know what when or the dates, and we'll see what happens. If I can make it out there, I will definitely make it happen.
The 16th, we fly up to Vancouver. We stay there that night, and then the morning of the 17th, we go up to Whistler. And I think the 18th, we're going dog sledding, and or you know, on those buggy things. Because Marita and I are too injured and old to snow ski. So we're dog sledding and going on one of those buggies. We're going up into the hills to a little hut to have breakfast one morning, and then another day doing dog sledding and just taking in Whistler and a white Christmas before we come back to Australia and land on Christmas Eve.
Beautiful.
So we'll let you know.
Send Marita my love.
I will, Ronald. Yes. It's going to be beautiful. Should be lovely, beautiful traveling.
And don't take away some of these experiences from yourself by saying you're too old, because you're very young.
Very young, yeah.
Just saying.
32?
I'm 48. So
That's
yeah,
young.
I've got some. Yeah.
Super young.
Yeah.
I'm 29
Plus.
plus experience.
That's it.
I love
That's
it.
it, Ronald. That's it.
Sometimes I want to speak my soul age, and then it's like, whoa.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know how old that is. Hundreds of years. Hundreds of years.
Without a doubt. Yes.
Freedom!
Always tell an old soul. Oh, you think you lived in the Scottish day? He was
Yep,
Scottish, wasn't he?
I lived in the Scottish age.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Look.
I have Scottish blood. I think I'm definitely in those days too.
Freedom!
That's it.
I love you guys.
Love
and
you
ladies.
too, Eric. Love
Love
you,
you guys.
Ronald. See you skiing.
Thank
love.
you.
Bye.
See you
Talk
soon.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.